Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder, it is time to talk about my experiences for Day 3 of the Operation Shipyard event. Now, it's definitely hitting the grind now. I'm definitely feeling it when it comes to actually playing. The first 2 days were pretty good, I got a lot done on the first day. The second day was pretty good. And the third day now, when we talk about the grind, is overall the grind itself is doing pretty good. But for me, I'm getting a little bit negative when it comes to the vehicles I'm playing. If I was playing a better lineup, I suppose it would be a much better time, such as if I was deciding to take this behemoth of a lineup, the 4-0 Soviets, or maybe if I wanted to play my 5-3 Americans, I'd have a hell of a lot more fun, especially with the addition of the P-59, but I've decided to task myself China, and right now, well, I'm spading this damn thing, and I have nearly spaded it, I have got the Heat FS, the optics, all of the basic decent stuff you need, and on top of all of that, I also have access now to the Type 62, so hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better, and I'm hoping by the end of the event we can put a little bit of a dent into this rank 5. The aviation side of things, the idea is to grind out the IL-10. Once the IL-10's ground out, basically use it to go into aerialistic and just ground pound with it, and try and turn the brain off for a little bit so we don't have to worry too much about, actually playing the game properly, and instead just sitting down and getting down to the grind. When it comes to first places, I haven't got many today, maybe 3 or 4, and the main reason is because this lineup just doesn't really lend itself to it. The Type 63 is not a very good vehicle, lacks a stabilizer, lacks any good really munitions until you get the Heat FS, and well, at 6.3 you face a lot of 6.7, which includes Tiger 2s and T-34s, T-29s. The Chinese are in a pretty unique position where they're able to go up against pretty much anything when it comes to the game, and that means that you're either going up against Tiger 2s, which you struggle to pen, or T-34s and T-29s, which you struggle to pen, until you get the Heat FS, and everything gets a lot easier. When it came to this Type 63, you can see I'm 33 and 49 in this, which definitely isn't good. It's not the best stats out there, but the win rate is 50%, which is nice, and also I'm getting a decent amount through scouting. The interesting thing with the Type 63 is I started off with 4 ground kills in it and 20 deaths, and that was because I didn't have access to Heat FS, I didn't really have access to anything, and I kept coming up against heavies which I just couldn't pen. So I was scouting them, hoping that my teammates would deal with them. If they didn't deal with them, I got overrun and just died. So that happened over and over and over again. So the statistics are on the mend, I think is the best way of putting it, but right now it is still quite highly negative. Talking about the event itself, what we have here is the parts. I did run into a little bit of an issue earlier on where I did have a bit of a problem with actually building stuff. Basically, you can see here how I seem to be more in the black right now, basically meaning that I'm ahead of the curve when it comes to the parts, and I'm sure, starting again tomorrow, I will be ahead of the curve once again because I already have the parts for the shaft drive, and I'm very close to the parts for this thing as well, and I already have the parts for stuff like the firefighting equipment. But the main thing is, you can see, I'm still on my second vehicle. I am about 3/4 of the way through, and the only thing that's really limiting me now is I don't know whether the drop rates are different on these items, but there are definitely a few that I'm getting more than others. The cast iron is something that I'm getting a ton of. The sealing and insulation materials, the two I'm struggling for are the non-ferrous metals and also the paints and varnishes. Now, I don't know whether that's built into the system, because obviously I don't really want to make a prediction. I don't know. It's kind of as simple as that, but it just seems a bit odd how, I'm getting a ton of these style of materials, but stuff like non-ferrous ones I've been struggling for the whole time. That, at least for now, has been the limiting factor when it comes to, my build path and what I've been able to do. But it's been very similar to, the first 2 days where just normal grinding in matches has led me to be able to build these stuff, so I'm not too worried, I'm not too worried overall about being able to finish this thing. The only thing I'm properly worried about is the first places, because I'm just not really getting there on these. I do need 160 of them overall, at least, plus the, of course, 240 there, so that might be a bit of a problem. And also, you may see that there are no basic parts here anymore, basic materials. I decided just to sell them on the marketplace because there is no reason in keeping them after the first build, or at least I couldn't find a reason to keep them after the first build. So they have gone, and I got about 2 Gaijin coin overall from them, which was kind of nice, but it also means that I'm completely out of basic materials. And looking at my stuff, you can see I have the coupon of the MBK161 still. I haven't used it, haven't really done anything with it. It's just kind of sat there and relaxing alongside all of the other vehicles, which I'm still not really sure what to do with. I have requested trials for the vehicles, so stuff like the MBK161 and also other machines like the VT12. The idea is, while I'm grinding these vehicles, to try and do videos alongside it to try and keep ahead of the game. I'm already technically about 5 videos behind where I want to be. I need to cover the past of the developers stuff, and also I need to cover stuff like the bi-weekly decals, which I've actually been able to complete yesterday and finish off today. So overall, it's looking still good right now. Definitely feeling the fatigue of the event. It's been lovely talking to all the people on the Tech Hub and seeing how they're doing with the event. A lot of really interesting conversations when it comes to the Tech Hub always arise. And also, we're doing some giveaways on it right now. So if you want to get involved, make sure to check the link in the description. And if you don't, that's all good too. Make sure that you just keep your sanity during this event. So right now, still smooth sailing. Have a few worries about the drop rates of specific materials, and hopefully my issues will be, not as... My issues won't be massive issues when it comes to the game going forward. Hopefully it will all work itself out tomorrow, and, we'll be on good footing. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Blackie, Daniel Stanton, John Ryman, Joseph Anders, Martinez, Mopar 1969, Moxie, Super Cacti, Uyins Terry, and Elove Goats, and of course Seductive Trash Can for supporting the channel.